Starting from this lecture, we're going to take a deeper look at how to get around in or traverse the DOM. Traversal is similar to selection in that you are obtaining a reference to an element. So far we have been starting at the top of the DOM tree to select our elements using the document object. However, you'll often have times when you already have a reference to one element and you need to get a hold of another element nearby. This is called DOM traversal. Traversal is just a way to move from one part of the DOM to another. And in simple words, select an element based on its relationship to another element. For example, let's say you want to remove a button from the DOM. You already learned how to remove elements from the DOM using the removeChild method. So you'll need to call removeChild on the button's parent. But there is a problem. You don't have a reference to the parent. So you'll need to get a reference to the parent of the button. To get a reference to an element's parent, we can use the parentNode property. Now let's see how to use the parentNode property to remove our button from the DOM. First, you get the button's parent node and assign it to a variable parent. Then use the parent to remove the button. So now let's apply this technique to the list application we have been building. To code along with me, first download the course folder from the link in the description below and open it with your favorite code editor. Here I'm using Visual Studio Code. From the course folder, open the exercise folder called JavaScript DOM. And then open the index.html file in the browser. In the index.html file, remember to link app.js file. In the browser, let's see the current behavior of our list items. Now let's update this capitalization behavior we created in the previous lectures. So instead of capitalizing a list item on mouse over, let's delete it. As I showed you earlier, to delete a list item, you'll need to do a little DOM traversal first to get a hold of the list item's parent element. In the app.js file, here's the code for the capitalization behavior. Now, if I'm going to alter this to remove list items, you don't need a mouse out handler because the element will be gone from the DOM before the mouse can leave its area. So I'll remove the entire mouse out handler. And I also remove this line of code. Because we are no longer changing text to uppercase. Now first, to make things easier to read, let's assign the target list item to a variable of its own. We can get a reference to the target element in the event object's target property. So I'll type let li assignment operator event.target. This will get a reference to the target list item and store it in a variable called li. Then let's get a reference to the target list item's parent, and it's the ul element. So I'll type let ul assignment operator li.parentNode. This will get a reference to the ul element and store it in a variable called ul. And then we can call the removeChild method on it. So I'll type ul.removeChild and pass in li, the event target. I'll save the change, refresh the page. Now if I mouse over the list items, you see that all the list items disappeared. Now this is kind of a fun trick, but it's not very useful yet. So back in the app.js file, let's change mouse over to click. I'll save the change, refresh the page. Now, if I click any list item, you see that it disappears. But it would be easier for users to know an element was removable if there was a button next to it. So let's add one next to each item. So in the index.html file, Let's add a button element with the text remove before the closing tag of each list item. I'll save the change. Then in the app.js file, I'll modify the click handler to target and respond to button elements only instead of li elements. Then we need to update our reference to the list item element. Since the li element is the parent of the button, we can use the button's parent node property. So I'll update this to event.target.parentNode. The UL element is still the parent of the li, so we don't need to update these following two lines. So notice how I'm getting the parent node of a parent node. I'll save the change, refresh the page, I click the remove button, and it works. Good. But there's one more problem, and that is clicking on any other button makes the entire list div disappear. So can you think of what's going on here? Take a moment to see if you can find the problem for yourself, and feel free to pause the video. Let's switch back to index.html and look at the structure. So we put our listener on this div, and it's targeting the buttons we want to target, but it's also targeting all the other buttons too. As is always the case with JavaScript, there are a number of ways to fix this. Now we could, for example, add more complexity to our handler's if statement to filter out the buttons we don't want, but what I'm gonna do is update the location of the listener to be closer to the buttons I want to target. Let's put it on the UL element. Now in the app.js file, we currently don't have the UL selected. Since there may be other ULs on the page at some point, let's call query selector on list div to limit our selection to the elements just inside the list div. So I'll type const list UL assignment operator list div dot query selector and pass in UL. All we have to do now is set our listener on our newly selected element. So I'll update this to list UL dot add event listener. I'll save the change, refresh the page. If I click on the remove button, as you can see, it still works. Now if I click on the other buttons, none of them making the whole list disappear. Good. Let's make one more quick change here. Now that we have a remove button on each list item, we can get rid of this remove last item button here. So in the index.html, I'll remove the remove last item button here. I'll save the change. Let's also take out the JavaScript codes pertaining to it. So in the app.js file, first I'll delete this remove item button selection here. Then at the bottom, I'll also delete its handler. I'll save the change. Alright, so now that we have practiced a little with the parent node property, up next I'll teach you how to find and work with the sibling elements.